Well, gang, this is the car pony car fans have been waiting for. The first all-new Mustang in about a decade. This is the 2015 Mustang GT, and it's very new. All-new body, of course, dramatic restyling. The big news, suspension-wise, is the live axle is gone in favor of an independent rear suspension now. That's been a long time coming. There's been some enhancements to the 5-liter Coyote V8, so it now makes 435 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. There's a great 6-speed manual transmission in this car. There's also some really cool upgrades that this car has, including these beautiful Recaro leather seats and a performance package that includes torsion rear diff, some new springs and shocks, and some great-looking spider web wheels, and inside those, some massive 6-piston front Brembo brakes give this car some real stopping power. So this is a tremendous performance animal for about $46,000 all in, and I'm really looking forward to ringing it out here on the road and around Gingerman Raceway. Well, this is where the Mustang GT belongs, out on some open country roads. Finally getting a chance to experience this all-new incarnation of Ford's legendary pony car. And I have to say, it goes down the road really well. It's very polished. There's a fair amount of broken pavement here, and the new IRS does keep the rear end planted. 435 horse, so it pulls 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, real quick. I just wish it were a little bit more electric in the cockpit. It's almost too muted. A car like the Challenger Hellcat, you know you're driving something really special when you drive that. Yes, it's a more powerful engine, but it's also really exciting. It burbles at low RPM, and it roars at high RPM. And this Mustang GT is almost a little bit too refined. I just wish there was a little bit more spit and crackle in the cockpit.
Yeah, there's no good reason to own this car other than to be silly. And I'm good with that because, you know, the Mustang's just an easy driving car. But the Hellcat is a load of silly fun. This car should make women roll their eyes and make guys giddy, and that's exactly what it does. Dude, this is a throwback dinosaur machine. It's not particularly sophisticated, it's blunt, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. One thing a lot of people ask, does it turn? Yeah, the steering wheel works. It definitely turns. It's heavy and it's huge. This thing makes me think of like the 1970s. I feel like I should have a Fu Manchu mustache and I should be being chased by like bad guys, and you know, I should have a soundtrack of like thumping like bass behind me because that's what this car is good for. I don't want finesse. I don't want pretty. I want this big, bulky, stupid, high horsepower machine. Subtlety? Yeah, not so much. Stupid fun? All day long. Talk about where rubber meets the road? Well, I'm about to leave some. Somebody's gonna call in a brush fire. You're pretty much grinning all the goddamn time. And if you're not, then you must be dead or the most boring person known to man. I defy you not to have fun in this car. I defy you. This is too much fun.
Where the Mustang and the Hellcat feel like road cars which can go around a track if you choose to, the Z28 feels like what it is, which is a compromise for the street, focused for the track, hardcore track toy for guys to be able to sort of live through the shortcomings of it on the road, the noise, the tram lining, it grabs all the ruts in the road, the fuel economy, the ride, to go out to the track and lay down times and get the feeling like you're in a real race car, because as far as the turn in, the grip, the braking, the experience is very race car like. the first car I drove of the three around Gingerman was the Mustang. And the Mustang actually feels pretty good, especially for a road car. It had the track package and with the Brembo brakes. And, you know, it did well. You had to mind the front end. You had to really be careful because it wanted to understeer and wash out the front end. And as the tires got warm, it wanted to move around. But, you know, it felt like a capable car for a guy to daily drive the car, yet still go out on the track and have a good time. The Hellcat, it goes around the track. It's fast around the track, relatively, but it's a bloody animal going around the track. I mean, you are constantly playing with the rear end, constantly bringing the car back in line. It'll feel or actually spin the tires pretty much at any time. You can short shift it. It doesn't matter if it's in third or fourth gear coming around a corner. It just goes. But if you want to go out to the track, don't buy the Hellcat. The Z28 comes into its own on the track. It's so compromised on the road, which makes it brilliant on the track. But my question is it so compromised on the street that would you rather just buy a race car? Obviously, the advantage of the Z28 is that it is road legal, so you don't have to have a trailer. You can actually drive it to the track. And if you want to add air conditioning, you can. But if you're starting to add the luxury stuff, you may as well buy a ZL1, which is a much better road car.
Don't mind us.
Hi, guys.
Well, the trio is complete. I think anybody who doubts that America is back and kicking ass hasn't seen these three new muscle pony cars.
Life is good, actually, in America, as it turns
Yeah,
out.
it
You know,
is.
used to be the Europeans pretty much had us. You know, you could burn out, but you couldn't turn. But suddenly you can burn out, and you can turn, and you can brake.
And you can really turn.
You're big on this Hellcat.
I gotta say, this Hellcat makes me really happy. It's not elegant, it's a blunt instrument, but it's a badass blunt instrument. This has come a long way in terms of refinement.
Got the IRS now, so it's more buttoned down on bumpy roads, a little more power than it used to have, a little bit more European than some of these other two, definitely. Yeah.
And then you have this. So this is kind of a compromise between a lot of things, unless you're right where we're standing today, huh?
And we're at the track. We have the Z28, giant 305 tires,
Carbon ceramic brakes.
carbon ceramic brakes,
Which are incredible.
aero upgrades. And I mean, there's no doubt about it. This car will run circles around the other two around the track.
Why don't we see what they can do?
Let's do it.
Of the trio, the track-bespoke Camaro is the least comfortable on normal roads. But if you're willing to put up with a little extra effort and a lot fewer amenities during normal commutes, the Z28 will pay you back like few other road cars in the world, every twisty road you can find. The Hellcat, for all its God of Thunder potential, is a peach at heart. Drive it gently and it thrums along happily. And when the mood strikes, simply plant your right foot and all cares, and just about everything else, disappear. The Mustang GT strikes the group's best track-road trade-off. Quick, if not breathtaking on the track, it's also sweet and satisfying blasting along a mountain two-lane. This is the everyday pony car, the versatility champ.